Hey folks, I know it's been a little bit, but you know, the whole fall thing, right? It's very foggy here. I am by my Jerusalem artichokes, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this, show you. That's probably highlighted, but the Jerusalem artichokes are doing pretty good. They're almost in full bloom. I'll probably try to take a better picture of it. So yesterday, because we're supposed to get a few days of rain, and my big coop, which is now my only coop, because the other one's turned into storage because I no longer have chickens, right? The predators. And I will not be getting any more chickens in the foreseeable future. So I just have my ducks and my geese. Matter of fact, there's 2 ducks right here. So the big coop has yet to be shingled or put a tin roof on. I might just put a tin roof on it. But I'm running out of time, so I just changed the tarp over. The other tarp lasted probably 5 or 6 years, and it needed to be done before winter, and that was the quickest. The quickest thing I could do is to throw a tarp over it, right? One of these days it will be roofed properly. But the most important thing is to make sure that the coop stays dry, right? So, the last time that I threw a tarp on that, it was supposed to have a pretty big rainy spell, and I had just got done boarding the roof over, and the only tarp I had available was a 20 by 24 tarp on it's a 10 by 12 coop, but it hangs over a foot on 3 sides and 3 feet on the back side, on the north side. So the roof is definitely bigger than the coop, right? And the only tarp I had was that 20 by 24. And I was by myself. When I started, the wind hadn't picked up yet. But just as soon as I get up there, spread the tarp over, the wind come up, and the front of that coop, the south-facing side, come right up and went right over me. And I couldn't find my way out, folks. I couldn't find my way out for nothing. And you know how loud a tarp is, right? Some of you do. When you're handling it, well, when you're trying to handle it and the wind has picked up to about 20 to 30 miles an hour and you're up on top of a coop with a tarp that is way too big, you're by yourself, and it comes up and it's just very, very loud. So I was up there trying to find my way out. And I was up there for quite a while, folks. First I thought it was funny. And then I'm like, I'm moving around. I don't know how close I am to the edge of the coop roof. Right? And then I become quite nervous because I don't like heights whatsoever. And it was massively loud underneath that tarp with the wind blowing. So I was saying a few choice words. I was up there quite a while, folks, trying to find my way out, trying to find the edge of the tarp, because you can't grab a tarp. There's nothing to hold on to unless you find an edge, and I couldn't find an edge. I couldn't find an edge, folks. And I was just enveloped right in that tarp. Didn't have the walkie-talkie system going on at that time. The next thing I knew, because I was flailing my arms just trying to get that tarp up, but it was just like being in a tarp. I just felt like I was enveloped. It was just wrapping right around me. So I gave one big, when the wind lulled down to probably 15 miles an hour, I threw my arms up. And just as I did that, there was this man that I did not know. He was on the top of the roof with me. He had a white dress shirt on. He had some white pants on. He had white hair. He had pasty white skin. He was very thin. And he had the most beautiful blue eyes. And apparently, what he told me, that he had pulled in, heard the ruckus on the coop. He said he spoke several times, asking if I needed help. Well, I didn't hear him, right? Because it was so noisy underneath that wind-blown tarp that he climbed the ladder and was trying to help me out. Well, I was surprised because, one, I'm like, what? Somebody's right there. Somebody I didn't know, and he was just glowing in white. And he said, I come up to just this old Maine accent. I just come up to see if you needed any help up here. So I thanked him kindly. He helped me before I even asked what he wanted, or before he even told me what he wanted. He helped me weight the tarp down. So, and then we had quite a conversation. He was just looking for some birds. He heard that I had a bunch of birds, and I did. I had way too many chickens that year. So I gave him a bunch of chicks just because he was nice enough to save my life. So that was reminded of that story when I was up fastening down the tarp for the winter. Awful scary, folks. That was awful scary, and my surprise when this man just popped out of nowhere, right? So anyway, the leaves are changing. It is rather foggy. It is foggy. It is very foggy. So there's that, right? So I will try to get a better picture of the Jerusalem artichokes. They're looking very, very healthy. The ones on the other side that I neglected, I don't know, maybe they're going to be all tuber. Maybe little plant, more tuber. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out together. But I've got all my wood in the woodshed. I've got some scraggly still over there. Some I've got to shorten up. And I'm fully stocked inside the house for wood for the next quite a few days. There's some small biscuit wood that I've got to cut up and throw into next year's firewood. And then there's some birch that I cut down back of the house that once things slow down, I can grab them before snowfall at any time, right? So life is good. Life is busy. Life is very foggy this morning here in Maine. We had quite a fog advisory. I guess down by Bangor Airport, you couldn't even see to drive, folks. So onward and forward, folks. Where there's a will, there's a way. The cannon has slowed down. I still have carrots to do. I still have a few things to do. And, right, the carrots can stay right in the ground all winter if they have to. I'll just throw a bunch of leaves and pine needles and maybe some straw on top of that, and they could stay right in there all winter. Like I said, if they have to, not too worried about that. So I hope you've all been well. It was not until September 30th that I heard about the Hurricane Helene. Never even knew. I have had my nose to the grindstone here. I wasn't watching any videos. I wasn't listening to any radio because when I stopped for the day, I crashed. So it wasn't until I reached out to my kid sister to wish her a happy birthday. And I had found out that there was a massive hurricane, Hurricane Helene. And she was right down there in the thick of it. She's good. She's good. So she said it's time to reevaluate. I don't know if that means she's thinking about moving back home. I don't know. I'd love to have her back. But anyway, if any of you were in the path, if any of you were in the path of Helene, I hope you are safe. I hope you didn't have much damage. I've seen some videos, folks, and it looks awful. It looks awful. So with that, the conspiracy theories and all of that, let's just get people safe, people accounted for, people back on with their lives, and then we could talk about the conspiracy theories. It's not the time, folks. It's not the time. All right. Bye-bye.